This is our trip to Cheynes Beach and Back Beach during the salmon run. This is Cheynes Beach itself, the actual bay in Cheynes, and then over towards the back there's the caravan park. At this point, I just want to make mention there'll be a little graph that comes up on the screen here. This is in relation to our subscribers and people who watch. So we've got 90% of people who watch our videos don't subscribe to our channel, so I'd love to encourage you to subscribe. If you do watch our videos and you do like our content, please hit that subscribe button. It helps us grow. And also with all these videos that we're doing and reviews that we got coming out soon, and a continuation of our forward driving series where we're looking at teaching how to forward drive on beach and sand conditions, they're all coming out, so notifications on for those. So like, subscribe, help us grow, because we want those numbers to improve. Now getting into this one, this is just to show you how far it is to get there. If you want to pause, you can have a look at the pricing charts for the caravan bay down at Cheynes itself, so you can see what it's like. This is some nice beautiful pictures from a sunrise that I was there for the Saturday morning. We're really fortunate this on this occasion, because it was terrible weather on the previous days, and the day after was just shocking. This is my site at Cheynes. I had a real nice area, no one next to either side of me at first. That's my view backwards towards the bay, and that's my little setup just in there. This is the actual Cheynes Bay itself. So normally this section here isn't washed out like it is in the video you can see here with this drone footage. During high tide, that actually comes right up to the very edge where the actual dune sort of system and grass or vegetation starts. So you wouldn't want to drive out there at any point because you would get stuck and you wouldn't get out, and you may lose your vehicle. So no one was going this direction. Particularly with the tides, you had to be really concerned about those, and if you did go out, only go out section. That arrow's just to show you that's where the caravan park sits itself. It's about a 45-minute journey from there to Albany. This arrow here indicates where the lookout point is. Roughly, that red arrow indicates the track towards Back Beach area, roughly. And that sort of node, this is the actual Cheynes Bay itself. That's what it's named after, that bay there. Beautiful panoramic shot of that whole section, taken from a stunning view there. And I want to thank the members for letting me use their drone footage for some of this video. This is fantastic. So this is from the lookout. So you can drive out towards the lookout where the rocky outcrop is. There's no fishing really done from these points. There's not a lot of success through this section. Everyone either uses the bay when it's not washed out or uses Back Beach. There are a lot of forward driving tracks that can be used throughout the area, and you can visit a lot of other places throughout this whole area. So there's more than just this one bay and Back Beach. There are other areas you can visit as well. It just depends on your capabilities and if you've got a second car, depending upon the conditions. But this is it. That's that rocky outcrop. You can see there. It's just a stunning part of Western Australia, and I thoroughly encourage you to visit and explore this area if you haven't been there before. I'm definitely going back again because I thought it was a great place to visit. I really like that little caravan park. And produces good when it's during the salmon run. So it's great when it's during salmon run, and if you get lucky enough like we did on a beautiful day, you can get the best scenario possible. So like I said, yeah, you can see some tracks there heading in different directions, so there is other parts to explore. Now this is the entry to Back Beach. There's only one way in and one way out, so depending on how busy it is and how frequent it is used and how the type of usage, you can see people are parked up the top in this shot. This is an example of very poor use of this hill. So this patrol was tearing up on the beach, didn't bother deflating their tyres, and then decided to go and just tear up the exit track, as you can see here, just ripping it up, something cruel. That whole section there, especially because it's on a little bit of a slope, it didn't just stick to a nice track to keep the track nice and confirmed without creating wombat holes, it just tore it up. We don't want to see that, so try and do it the best way possible if you can. Just be considerate of others. So this is the view of Back Beach. There's not a lot to it. It's quite small, and on the left hand side it is quite soft, but most of it is kind of firm. You can see in the still shots here towards the right hand side you've got two rocky outcrops. In the section in the middle there, it's beautiful open, but you've got quite a few breakers. You've got like 2 sets of breakers, and it's usually over that last set that most of the salmon seem to sit. They struggle, sometimes it's hard to get them to come in. This is some drone footage of Back Beach looking back towards, as you can see. The lighting's not so fantastic in this one because of the cloud cover momentarily, but you can see there's the exit. To the left hand side of the screen, the most left hand vehicles. My vehicle's just sitting there in between those rocks. You can stand on those rocks and cast out. Take note of one of the rocks there on the very left of the screen before it panned down. That'll become relevant when we talk about the shark a bit later on. But yeah, you can see the 2 sets of breakers. They're quite a distance apart. So this is that nice big school of salmon, and then that arrow is indicating the shark that's moving over towards the side. I had actually been around the corner on the rocks trying to see whether I could get access to a school that was further around, but it wasn't really there, so I moved back and then found a nice rocky outcrop that wasn't too far from this school, because I'd watched this school move from the very middle across to the side, and when it was in the middle it was a bit far out. Some people were still catching them. The odd one would come in a bit closer to the actual shoreline, which was fantastic. Yeah, great drone footage where we can actually really see some detail, because when you're looking at it from my position when I was standing on the rock, I'm seeing a dark coloured shape, and especially when the drone pans up a little in a minute, you'll see a lot of wash from the actual breakers. Yeah, see all this wash covers across that dark across the school. I'm on that rock just to the left hand side that's about to get hit with a wave now. That rock there, I'm standing there. You miss the school often when those breakers hit, and you lose sight of the school at times. So the drone footage is fantastic to be able to see them from that angle and that viewpoint when the breakers really disturb your vision. This is a great shot of stillness. If you actually zoom this in, you'd actually see me standing there pointing basically in the direction of that school. And that's that school again. When it's calm, you could really see it. I'm standing on that rock head that's just poking out there to that left hand side of the screen, and I'm trying to cast into that little pod there. But people were getting lucky. This is a fantastic. I just love this vision of this drone vision, because you really are able to see some of the detail of the salmon swimming around. You don't quite appreciate the size that they are when you pull them up from this viewpoint. It looks like just a normal school of fish, but these are big salmon, and that's a huge amount. A nice school there, so it's just really fantastic to be able to see this sort of quality vision coming through. And it's very hard to see when you're obviously on the beach. You see darker patches, and even the smaller schools, the drone footage provides great ability to see even those smaller ones. So that's that big one that was where I said I could see it was in the middle of the area of Back Beach, but way out from the shoreline. That's one of the ones we're pulling up on the beach before it's bled. So you got to bleed them. So everyone got amongst getting the salmon for themselves. Quite a few people were hooking up earlier than schools were coming in, but for the odd one that might come in for a muley, this was in earlier in the morning. Hey, when I mentioned about that rock, that's the rock I was talking about that was really near close to the shoreline, where you could actually stand on some rocks, and in front of you there was just a rock on in the water just in front of where you were, in say half a metre of water. This shark was swimming around really close to the shoreline when the schools weren't there. He was just, throughout the entire day, or throughout the time that I was there, he was amongst the water, swimming either around the schools or waiting to pick off a salmon that perhaps you've caught for him. But if anyone knows what species shark this is, I know it's hard because of the vision, but sometimes we do get some really nice shots of him, and especially when the water is quite clear. If you can tell what shark that is, I'd like to know. You can see there how close he is to the shore. He gets picked up by, that's that last breaker, and he gets washed in a little bit close to the shore, and he decides he'll turn around and come back out. There were some kids swimming in the water, although he wasn't really interested in that. He was more interested in the salmon. This is coming out. So that's my car. That's the Triton coming out of the beach entry. As I said, tiny little rutted, but it wasn't that difficult. You just maintain a nice easy momentum to come up that section. It's not that rutted out at that point, and it depends on the usage, how much it's to turn up. Here's one of our members in the Colorado. You can see him, no difficulties whatsoever with proper deflated tyres, easy. He slows really well down, slows down nicely as he hit the top, and then just goes across the softer sand instead of where that Pajero went, and it just tore up the sand for everybody else, particularly because it's on an angle. You don't want to do that. So, it's just courtesies to other four-wheel drive people that are going down there. Don't tear up the track, please, and deflate your tyres. Just do the right if you're going to go down there, and utilise the beach because it is shortened. So just be considerate of others. So this is just the drone footage of us driving from Back Beach towards the caravan park. So this would basically be the same if you were going there. To give you an idea, it's not that, it's easy to get to. There's a sign that points you there from the caravan park towards Back Beach. There are other little offshoots, as you see in the footage, that you could take if you want to. Stick to the left hand side where you can. You'll see me contravene my own words in a second here, so that's my bad, and I apologise. I actually blocked somebody and had to make him reverse momentarily because I didn't go left. But most of it's one, like you get sections where it's like this, where it's one way, and then you get two parts. But anyway, don't do what I did and block up somebody else to stay left or stay right, depending on which direction you're heading. But there are other areas you can forward drive in, but this is really easy conditions. The only hard bit is actually getting down onto the beach, and if you were concerned, stay up the top and just park and walk. Alternatively, look at that hill and assess it based on the conditions and its use, depending on who's been there and how they've made use of it prior to. Now, this caravan park has great features. They've got fuel there, they've got pump air pressure so you can pump your tyres up, cleaning station for your fish, you've got a water station so you can rinse your car off. As I mentioned, 45 minutes from Albany, but you can explore the area. They've got a lot of utilities, features, cooking stuff, and nice sites there. So thank you to our Patreon members, thank you to our members that provided some of the footage that we used in this video, and if you do like it, click like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in our next video, and thank you very much for listening.